Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome to another edition of the League One Lowdown, where I speak to fans, podcasters, and journalists to talk about all things League One football for the coming season. Today, I'm joined by Freddie, Pompey fan from the PompeyNewsNow podcast. Freddie, first of all, introduce yourself. Let us know what you're all about in terms of Pompey's News Now.
Hi, I'm Freddie. I've been a Pompey fan since I can remember, probably about 7 years old. Grew up in the north of England, and somehow kept in touch with the club, even with the geographical difference. Yeah, I do Pompey News Now, which is the written content, and the PO forecast with Hugh Bunce, and we've been doing that. Hugh started as the host. We started since 2019, and we've been going on for nearly 2 seasons, racking up the listeners. They seem to be really enjoying it. We had a slew of interviews, including Danny Cowley. We had him on the show, but just recently, as he became the new manager last season. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Couldn't love my club more, to be honest.
It's brilliant. It's great to have you on. And of course, Pompey missed out in the playoffs last season. Danny Cowley came in halfway through. Of course, Kenny Jackett went. Your thoughts quickly on Danny Cowley. Of course, Town fans would love Danny Cowley to be here. I think he was linked to the club for a few times after his great success with Lincoln City. Let's talk about transfer business. Of course, Danny Cowley's wanting his own squad. He's got rid of a lot of players. A lot of players have been released, some of your key players. But let's talk about your signings. Have you been able to replace those key players, or are you happy with it so far?
So far, it's been the transfer business has been okay, but I would say it's good, but not complete yet. Overall, the big thing that with the transfers that people focused on is Kenny Jackett's tenure of 4 years. That's a long time for an English club. Most managers don't get that at all. So really, it was about changing the culture for many people, and fitting a new team around Danny Cowley's style of football, which is attacking quickly through transition, mainly with the ball on the floor and possession based. And Kenny Jackett was pretty much the opposite, which is fine. But it wore thin on a lot of the fans, and that showed up in the results eventually. So in terms of that culture change that I mentioned, Pompey didn't want to essentially re-sign some of the players on larger wages. Even though they're good players, I still think they're good players. But they thought of it as an overpayment at the time. So Jack Watmore and Tom Naylor, who both moved to Wigan, who were both first teamers, excellent players. But Danny Cowley didn't want to give them pay rises. Same with Craig McGilvery. Same with Ben Close. Ben Close is a great centre midfielder. McGilvery, one of the best keepers in the league last season, in my opinion. And they moved on from that. In terms of the ins, I said about culture earlier. He brought in 3 players with championship experience. Ryan Tunnicliffe, ex-Luton and Millwall. Sean Williams, ex-Millwall. And Kieran Freeman, ex-Sheffield United, also played for Pompey on loan for a short while. He wanted seasoned pros in to try and set the standards a bit better, because in his opinion, it was slipping. And that's easily done with a squad that had been together for so long. Even though we had success in the EFL Trophy, we lost in 2 playoff semi-finals in quite unconvincing fashion, and then at the end of last season, failing to make it at all. So he wanted to inject a bit of new thoughts, new ideas. Some of the other players that came in, Ghassan Ahadmi on loan from Norwich, young striker, scored 7 goals in friendlies from 3 games. He seems to be a bright spark and add depth up front. And also Liam Vincent, prospect from Bromley, not sure how much he's going to play. And Jaden Reed? I think it's Jaden Reed. I'll double check that one. On a free from Birmingham, a raw talent winger who likes to dribble and get into attacking chances. So unless I've missed anybody, those are all the Pompey transfers. If you compare it to other teams, it doesn't quite stack up, in my opinion. But that's mainly because, for financial reasons, as I said, Pompey are putting a lot of their money into the training ground and the ground. And I'm talking millions of pounds on that. So instead of increasing the wage budget and giving what they see as inflated wages coming off a COVID season, they've put that money into facilities. So that might lead people to thinking, oh, Pompey signings, they're not up to scratch as maybe the Ipswiches, the Wigans, the Sunderlands, with new ownership, putting the money into player wages. Pompey are putting that money elsewhere.
And let's talk about the season. I know we're recording this on July 22nd, so we've still got a month left of the transfer window. The season starts very soon. We were saying off air like how close it is to the start of the season already. At the moment, shot in the dark moment, how would you predict Portsmouth? Do you think they will be in the playoffs? I think this League One, I've spoken to other League One fans, how open this league is going to be this year. It's going to be Championship 2.0. Trying to get out of League One is going to be tough. Do you think Pompey will be in around it?
It's very tough. I think with the Pompey's still got a lot of very good players from the previous squad, and some of the additions have definitely helped. But when I see some of the other squads and how they're looking, I see Pompey as a tier below playoffs, and I think most fans would think like that to a pinch. I think the aim is Portsmouth in League One. The aim is always promotion, so most fans are hanging on the hat that this new team can learn very quickly and get into the playoffs. I think that's a bit early for them. I think maybe next season that's the definitive aim. It's like when Kenny Jackett first came in 2017-18, because of the changes, all the new players, the new style of football, etc. But I do think on paper at the very least, Pompey's rivals in League One, they've got better and deeper squads than Pompey at the moment.
And this will be Danny Cowley's first season. So do you think fans will, and the owners and stuff, do you think they will give him an opportunity to give him time if he doesn't, say Pompey are 15th when we get into December? Do you think they'll be okay with that because he's still trying to gel his side? That's what a lot of teams are going to be doing because of the COVID situation. A lot of teams are going to have a whole new squad. It's going to take a while to gel. Like Ipswich Town, we've got a whole new squad, so it's going to time to gel. And some clubs, they sometimes sack a manager very too early. Do you think they'll give Danny Cowley time?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. They've signed him for the long haul, and that's quite obvious with the conversations. Michael Eisner, our chairman, did an interview yesterday, and that's one of the things he reiterated, that slow and steady progress about being a sustainable football club, which Pompey still are, and about not taking needless risks and building a project that for the long term will actually work. It was pretty much said that many fans thought last season under Kenny Jackett it didn't really matter if Pompey got promoted, because in the end, with that style of football, we'd probably go back down again. Danny Cowley, when his name was initially linked with Pompey, some fans were unsure, mainly thinking about his Lincoln City sides that were very direct. But after a lot of research, after he came on the podcast and explained his philosophies, the fans back him to the hilt, I think. And that's why a lot of fans weren't fussed about a lot of the players leaving, because they thought it's a new start. And that's what Pompey fans have wanted, arguably since the end of the second season where we lost in the playoffs against Sunderland. So Danny Cowley's definitely going to get his time. He's going to have the patience of the fans, I think, for this season. He'll have to. The squad will have to show tangible progress if they don't get promoted this upcoming season. But no, I think if Pompey play in the right way, and fans can see that progress on the pitch and see a long-term project, they'll back him and the management to the hilt, I think.
Cool. And as an outsider, Ipswich Town got new owners. Paul Cook's first full season in charge, of course, very much connected with Pompey, with that success he had with you. We've made a lot of good signings, some really good League One signings. What's your thoughts as an outsider seeing all these signings being made? And I know a lot of Pompey fans Paul Cook's going to do a great job there. He did a great job here. What's your thoughts on Town, and do you think we'll be definitely in the mix?
Absolutely. I never doubt a Paul Cook side, to be honest. With the way he set up and played for Portsmouth in those 2 seasons in League Two, I don't doubt his style of football at all. I was on the Ipswich Town fan podcast after it was Danny Cowley's first game, and Pompey beat Ipswich, and they were going about, is Paul Cook the right man? He's not getting the most out of his players. And I said, just wait until the summer. And when he can get his new player, his full rubber stamp on this team, I wouldn't have any doubts about that at all. And that's pretty much proven with the players he's brought in. Scott Fraser is an attacking midfielder. I've wanted Pompey to sign him for 2 years. And then Ipswich go and sign him. He's got to plug straight in. Excellent playmaker. Joe Pigott up front as well with the goal record. And when you watch him, you can tell he scores multiple types of goals. And that's the striker that Paul Cook wants in that formation. So I think Ipswich again. The league, as you said, the league's very open. I could see a lot of teams being in interchangeable places, but I think Ipswich are a playoff side. It's hard to not see them as such.
And we were looking at the fixtures earlier. Town travel to Pompey on the 19th of October. I know it's going to be a lot of games being played by that point, but what sort of games do you reckon you'll expect for that? Paul Cook returning to Fratton Park for the second time, but the first time in front of fans. I'm sure his reception will be okay. There'll be some section maybe the Pompey fans will go, "Oh, he left under a cloud." But what do you expect from that game?
In terms of the Paul Cook reception, I think he'll get a good reception. It was reported in the local paper, the New Portsmouth, a while back with Paul Cook, pretty much saying that it was kind of a misunderstanding, considering that he saw the Wigan opportunity, the Pompey ownership structure, that it was changing. A lot was unsure, and he just took the right opportunity for himself, and that's fine. I think I don't think many Pompey fans hold a grudge on that, really, to be honest with you. So I still think he'll get a good reception. And in terms of how that game's going to play out, I have no idea. I have no idea how this Pompey side is going to set up because of the changes. There are some players who have stayed, but I'm not sure how well this Pompey team's going to gel. One signing Pompey made that I forgot to mention, which he'd add in, Gavin Bazunu, on loan from Manchester City, who was in goal for Rochdale last season. I have some doubts with that, purely from the fact that statistically McGilvery was better at simply shot stopping, and he saved above his expected goals. But Bazunu stylistically fits with Danny Cowley's philosophy of playing the ball from the back and being a more active keeper off his line. And at the end of the day, he's a Republic of Ireland international, so at 19, so he can't be too bad, can he? But again, like I said earlier, I have no idea how that game's going to go. But it's going to be just great to have fans back in the stadium again and to get the opportunity to go to some games.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure they're going to be both sellouts in the away ends, one at Portman Road when Pompey fans come, and also Town fans going to Fratton Park. And those two games will be definitely games that will be talked about a lot, definitely because of the Paul Cook connection. But Freddie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, I think that's basically it. Again, like I said, Ipswich, I think they're a nailed-on playoff side, but there's some of the players they brought in and the way that Paul Cook's going to set up. And with Pompey, we're still not sure. Pompey are going to be quite a wild card team, to be honest. There's still some work, in my opinion, that they need to do in the transfer window. I still think they need a backup left back, another centre half, and potentially another centre midfielder as well, just to iron out that squad and give it some proper depth in case of injuries. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new season because it's a change. It's a change that Pompey fans haven't had in a long time. With the Kenny Jacket set up, it made a lot of Pompey fans apathetic, not because purely from the style of football and the way that they thought it's going to collapse in a minute. We're getting the results at the moment, but you can't win games playing not your best forever, and that happened. And then Pompey collapsed out of the playoff picture. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of optimism and a lot of patience, I think, from Pompey fans for the team next season.
There we go. What a way to end it. Well, Freddie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope everybody's enjoyed watching another edition of the League One Lowdown. I'll be back next time for another edition, speaking to another fan or presenter or journalist from a League One club. See you later. Have a good one.